Doom Eternal is a game that will stand the test of time and keep players busy for many years down the road. With that being said, id Software is not done making Doom games, and each new title that they release will be something better than the last. The single player campaign was loaded with so much content and kept me busy, as well as other people who have enjoyed it so far. The DLC will be a much needed expansion on the gameplay, the lore, and as a way to end the plot between Hayden and the Slayer. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all having an awesome day so far. Wraith here with a video talking about some parts of the upcoming DLC, the Ancient Gods, among other info that the devs such as Hugo Martin and Marty Stratton talked about at the PAX online stream the other day. For the most part, there were some good details about the DLC and their perspective on what's next for Doom. Before I get going, if you're new here and love Doom or similar content, then be sure to subscribe and set up notifications if you like what you see here. Doing so will greatly help out the channel and get the videos more attention. I really appreciate all the support here, and you guys are awesome. Alright, let's get started. As far as the DLC is concerned, we already know a great deal about it, but as we get closer and closer to the release, we will get to know more important details and what the plot is all about. The teaser and full trailer have shown us what levels we will be able to play, what new enemies to encounter, and the fact that we can fight more than one Marauder at a time. Something that Hugo mentioned in the stream was that there will be a few times within the DLC that we will fight two Marauders. However, it will be a bit more fair this time around. Throughout the main campaign, whenever you would fight a Marauder, there would tend to be a lot of fodder and heavy demons like gargoyles, mecha zombies, soldiers, revenants, and so on who would annoy you and create a more challenging encounter with only one of the Marauders. When we will fight two of them, there won't be those annoying fodder demons to bother us, which is where we can focus all of our attention on the Marauders. Of course, if you have already played some mods on Doom Eternal, you have probably fought at least 3 to 5 Marauders at once and survived, so 2 of them will be a piece of cake. Now, concerning everyone else, fighting 2 Marauders will be challenging, but possible for sure. Doom Eternal is a skill-based game, and Hugo mentioned that numerous times, not only in the stream, but in other interviews and reveals in the past. My previous video was about how Doom Eternal made me a better gamer when it came to first-person shooters. I have definitely improved on my accuracy and resource management in order to survive playing on Nightmare. After looking at my first walkthroughs when Doom Eternal released and compared them to my current gameplays, they are completely different by a long shot. The DLC gives us a fully loaded Slayer to start off with, but even then it can be challenging in different scenarios. Playing battle mode against some pros can be really difficult as their shots on you are spot on, especially if they are playing as a Slayer and sometimes a demon. My point is, Doom Eternal will push you and challenge you enough to the point where it can be bearable. It's not id Software's intention to push you enough to have you give up and stop playing altogether. Some people have stopped playing the game either because they may not have as much experience or just don't like the mechanics compared to Doom 2016. Regardless, the game is not a looter shooter, RPG, or really a game that you can spend a few minutes relaxing killing demons. The original games allow you to take it easy at times, but Eternal will keep you on your toes. Sometimes I get too overconfident in a big fight and I get annihilated because I underestimated a certain demon or misused a combo and many other faults. In order to get better, I learn from my mistakes and take note on how to overcome that challenge and try again and again. For many people, the skills come naturally, and for others, maybe not as much. Now, of course, there's no shame in lowering the difficulty if it comes down to that. In the end, the game should entertain you, whether that be testing your skills or taking it a bit slow in order to enjoy the environments. The locations in the environments that we will be able to spend time in Doom Eternal are among some of the best in modern video games. id Software takes pride in knowing that they have some of the best artists in the industry to pull off the amazing scenery we see in places like Urdak and Sentinel Prime. These locations are among my favorite, and I'm glad that we will be able to revisit Urdak in the DLC. The Blood Swamps location looks awesome, and I even liked how the waves looked at the UAC facility location, because I'm a sucker for realistic water in video games. Water is one of the most difficult things to get right in any video game, kind of like trees. Sometimes if I play a modern game and the water doesn't look right, it will bother me every time I see it. The id Tech 7 engine allows the artists to go above and beyond to create these places as well as the demons. The engine is so optimized that recently the game was able to hit 1000 frames per second. This was done by both Bethesda and XCOM, and the amount of effort that they had to get there required liquid nitrogen. Obviously 1000 frames are totally overkill, but it shows how far we have gotten in terms of technology and what is possible for future Doom games. If Doom Eternal is optimized the way it is, I can only imagine what the next Doom game will look like. We probably won't see another game for another 4 years or so, and by then, the next gen consoles and GPUs will be outdated, or at least not as great as what the standard will be at that time. On top of that, we will most likely have a new tech engine, which will be way better than id Tech 7. Going back to the environments, we know that the levels in the DLC start with the UAC facility, the Blood Swamps, then Urdak. Within Urdak, we will be able to explore a location within heaven called the Equestrian Hold, which is a forest. The devs weren't wrong when they said that they wanted to take players to places they have never been to in a Doom game, and they still were able to manage to make the DLC almost an entirely new game. Even the music will be composed by Andrew Hulsholt and David Levy, who are talented musicians that will fit right in and set the proper tone. They have a lot of experience, and I believe they will continue to set the mood at the appropriate level for future Doom games. So with the ability to go to different locations and music slightly different than Mick Gordon's, it will for sure feel like a different game, which is not a bad thing, at least in my opinion. One other thing that was mentioned in the stream was about the spirit, and a detail about it that would actually be very helpful. For those who don't know about the spirit, it is the summoner from Doom 2016, and in that game, it was able to summon demons along with being able to teleport to another location and throw Argent waves at the player. This time around, it is a demon in the form of a spirit that possesses other demons and makes them deadlier and immune to being faltered. The one detail that Hugo mentioned was that the spirit, after escaping the defeated possessed demon, will make it a priority to possess a super and/or heavy demon before going to a fodder. In the trailer, we only saw it go from the tyrant to a soldier, but in a real fight with it, if it were to possess a baron and there were other heavy demons, it would possess them after you kill the Baron. So it helps us by knowing that you can either focus your attention on the possessed demon and kill the spirit quickly after it leaves the dead demon, or ignore the possessed demon and take out the other heavies first, so the spirit will either have no other demons to possess or be forced to possess a fodder. The microwave mod on the plasma rifle is the only weapon that is able to kill the spirit, and it is a mod that makes this Slayer a sitting duck to other demons in the arena. I would say that the best tactic would be to first ignore the possessed demon, take out the other demons in the arena, then focus your attention on the spirit. However, you would want to do that quickly, because if you end up having a Doom Hunter or Marauder that gets possessed, then you're going to have a bad time. The Doom Hunter is already a pain at times, but now you can imagine how difficult it will be without being able to damage any weak points or falter it. Same thing goes for the Marauder. The way we will encounter the spirit will be much like the Doom Hunter, where they will have a single encounter, then be found throughout the rest of the DLC and the new master levels. The spirit is one of the demons and changes to the DLC that will force the player to use different tactics and weapons than what they are used to. No more ballistic combos, as you will need to conserve your plasma ammo for the spirit, and the Bloodmaker will be immune to the ballista as well. I really respect how id Software is willing to make these kinds of changes to a DLC, which allows us to keep the same weapons and abilities, but be forced to learn new combos and tactics that we aren't normally comfortable with. Not all expansions are always better from getting new weapons and so on, but Doom Eternal is a skill-based game, and it will allow us to continue to develop our skills and think outside of the box. In the end, Doom Eternal has been an amazing game to play, and it gives me confidence knowing that the developers have said that Eternal is not their best work. That kind of mentality is needed in the gaming industry, especially after creating a masterpiece like this game. Sometimes it feels like there can't be a better Doom game. I can agree that Doom Eternal does have some faults and isn't perfect, but id Software has a lot on their shoulders to prove that they can do better for the next game. Obviously, we still have the second part of the Ancient Gods and possibly another full DLC in the coming year or two, so at that point we can get a better viewpoint where id Software will want to take the franchise in the right direction. We're not too far away from the first part of the Ancient Gods, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If so, please like, subscribe, and share this video so we can get it out there more. I'm working on somewhat of a big video talking about who really is the Seraphim and how he may actually be someone different than Samuel Hayden with some supporting evidence. Be sure to stick around for that video, which should be sometime next week or so. Check out my social media accounts such as my Instagram and Twitter at RipNtear Gaming so you can stay up to date with other things over there as well as with the channel. Thank you so much for the support and hope you have a great day. Until next time, Fell Slayers, don't forget to rip and tear. Peace.